Today we're working on the first movement of Telemann's Concerto in G major from Suzuki Book 4. Welcome back. Welcome to the studio. My name is Cassie and I'm a professional violist and teaching artist. So today we're going to be doing a tutorial on some things in the Telemann Concerto. The first thing I want to talk about is our new time signature, 3-2. That tells me that there's 3 beats per measure and then the half note gets the beat. We're used to 6-8 or 4-4, those are the more common time signatures. But this one just means that when you see a half note, you can think of it like a quarter note. It's equal to 1 beat. Additionally, if you're interested in my fingerings and my bowings, I'm going to do what's written in the part, but what I do if I was performing this is a little bit different. You can check out my Patreon page and I put a link to that below. So let's get into it. We're going to start in measure 13. So let's go to playing position. And measure 13 actually starts in 3rd position. So we know how to find 3rd position. We're going to tap our 3rd finger, listen to that G, and then match that with our 1. Let's see how we did. That matches my open G, so I know that I found that. If you're having trouble kind of picking that out of the blue, just a reminder that you can play 3 and then use your 1 to shift up. Obviously, when we do this piece, and when we're actually playing it, we can't do that and stop in the middle of the piece and find it, so we have to be a little bit more skilled at finding it by tapping. So let's find that 3rd position again. Alright, so we're in 3rd position in this measure. Our next note is in 1st position, so we have to shift back down on our 1st finger. So let's try that. 1st finger on 3rd position G. Now I'm going to sound that 1, so I'm going back to my 1st finger that was on the note G and shifting down to E. Some common things that happen when you shift down, your wrist might break. We don't ever want to do that. We want to keep our wrist nice and straight. So be careful when you're shifting down that you don't see this, that your wrist is kind of leading that shift. The shift should be led from your forearm. Okay, let's try that one more time. Find 3rd position. Sound your 1 and shift down. Good, let's do that silently this time. Silent shift. Try that one more time. Find 3rd position. Silent shift down. Now eventually we want to make those as connected and legato as possible. So let's try that now. Find that 3rd position G, and we're not going to stop between the B and the E this time. So we have to gauge the speed of our shift. We have to make sure that our shift isn't too fast or too slow. It should be right in the tempo of the piece. So let's try that one more time. Find 3rd position. And shift. The next measure I want to talk about is measure 18. This is a similar issue. We start in 3rd position and we have to shift down, but here we have the added difficulty of a trill. So let's go to playing position, find 3rd position, and we're going to just double check that we found that. So check your 1st finger with your open G. Good, now I've got to climb up to 3, and this is a high 3. Now I've got to shift down with a 1 and a trill that starts from 2nd finger F sharp. So let's do all of that again. Find 3rd position. Climb up to 3. And again, when we shift down, it's our 1st finger that's leading that shift from the forearm, not the wrist. Ready? Go. 3rd finger. Shift. Now, because this is a piece from the Baroque period, actually this is the first viola concerto that we have that still exists today, that many violists still perform in concert. We're going to begin all of our trills from the note above, and that's actually indicated in your part with a little grace note. So instead of starting the trill on the E here, we're going to start it from the F sharp. And that fancy thing is called an appoggiatura. We're leaning on the E with our F sharp. This also occurs later in measure 29. It's a similar thing. We're starting our trill from above. Here we're in 1st position, and trill from the C, as opposed to starting the trill from the B. The next section I want to go over starts in measure 34. We've got a bunch of shifts here. So we're starting in 3rd position, and then we go to 1st position, and then back to 3rd position, and back to 1st. So let's pick this apart. Go to playing position, and I'm going to start with my second finger on A, and I can check that with my open A string. Make sure that I've gotten and found third position. So again, there's 4 notes here in third position. Then we're going to use that open G to shift down. Now again, we've got to pick that third position G out of the air. Good, I found it. Now we're going to stay in third position, so your first finger needs to hop over to the C string while your bow elbow lifts. And again, a shift down to first position on 1. Then our next note's back in third position. So let's go through that sequence one more time. We're starting in third position on that A. Use the open string to shift to first position. Tap your third finger, shift and match to third position. Stay in third position, bow lifts up, and we're on F sharp, so it's a high 1. It's going to feel closer to you when you go to the C string on that first finger. Shift. Again, you can tap and shift. Good, our next measure is second position. There's a 3 indicated over that A, so I have to find F sharp with my first finger and then plot my 3. And across the string, 1 and 2 touch, so F sharp to D touches across the string. And then in our next measure, we're back to first position. That's like home base, right? And we should be okay for a little bit after that. So when you're practicing that, just pick apart those pieces. When you start in third position, do your shift slowly to first position. When that feels comfortable, you can speed up the tempo a little bit. Same thing, shifting from first position back to third position. Always do your taps. Double check with open strings because we're usually shifting to a G or an A, so we have those open strings to check with, or better yet, find a tuner and double check your notes with your tuner. The next new thing that we have in this piece is the cadenza. Now this is traditionally the place where the soloist would improvise or make up their own music that was based on the music that came before that. So here we've got our music actually written out for us. The cadenza is here, so let's actually play that. We're going to start with a fermata over that open C on an up bow, so you can hold that as long as you like. And then the cadenza shouldn't be in tempo, so I don't want to hear. That's not really improvisatory. So you can kind of change the rhythm here. I know they're all printed 8th notes, but feel free to do as you'd like. And again, I changed the bowing slightly here. That's linked in my Patreon page if you're interested in it. So we're going to do one version where we just do it in tempo so that we can get the notes. So set your bow up bow on the C string. 1 and 2 and 3 and. And again, if you're having trouble with that double stop at the end, I set my second finger first, and my third finger is going to kind of run down my second finger as close as it possibly can to get that F sharp. So I'm going to set my C first and then plot my 3. That interval is a tritone, so it should sound a little bit clashy. So now that we've done the cadenza at one tempo, let's just experiment and do it as freely as we possibly can. So up bow on C, nice and free. So that's one version. You can experiment with your own. I like to do it. With a little bit of a retardando as we increase in pitch level. The last section I want to go over is in measure 53. So here we've started in second position. Again, I'm going to find that second position by tapping my 2 and replacing that with my 1. The next measure starts on 2, so we're still in second position, and then we finger replace with a 3 to get back to first position. So let's try that sequence. Find second position, check your third finger with your open D, and we'll begin. 2, finger replace. The great thing about finger replacements is you have the pitch already sounding, so you know what it should sound like when you shift to it. So essentially, when you play C with 2, it should sound exactly the same as when you play it with 3. So now that we've got our tutorial out of the way, we're going to do our playthrough. And because this is marked very, very slow, the tempo is largo, we're not going to do a slow and a fast playthrough. We're just going to do an at-tempo playthrough. So let's go to playing position. And I will count 1, 2, 3, 1. Remember that half rest is equal to 1 beat, and we'll begin. 1, 2, 3, 1. Next entrance, 2, 3, 1. Next entrance, 2, 3, 1. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you found the tutorial on the playthrough useful. If you have any questions or comments or other videos you'd like me to make, please post those below. I really enjoy reading those. Happy practicing.